And you just got to hit OK. Just to acknowledge. Okay, so we're going to start with drawing. So have a sketchbook or something that you can work in. I'll let you gather that. And this class is just going to be fun. It's going to be really fun. Lots of playing. And we are going to, just a sec here. My PowerPoint's. No. Microsoft keeps trying to do things to my. No, I don't want that. Ah. Stop it. It keeps putting up screens in front of what I'm trying to show you guys. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at some slides first and get some inspiration. Talk about some people who did some interesting portraits in history. And we're going to emulate a couple of them. We're going to try out a few things. Okay, so the first one we're going to start with is Amedeo Modigliani. And Modigliani, we're gonna cover Picasso and Modigliani mostly, but then we're also going to look at a more modern artist as well, somebody within our generation. I'm not sure I think she's still alive, but I'm not quite sure. So Modigliani and Picasso were contemporaries. Like they hung out together. They lived at the same time and were being inspired, I should say, by similar things. When we look at Modigliani, the things that are really distinctive about his portraits, and not all of them are like this, but the ones we're going to look at are, because we're looking at abstracting the portrait. And he has, just a sec here, I'm just going to put on the annotate so you can see what I'm gesturing at. Here we go. Okay, so he is known for these distinctive long necks, kind of a narrow, small face, big long nose, small mouth, and kind of blank eyes. And this carries over to men and women. They're all kind of treated the same. And it's a very, very simple, it's actually a very simple way to do a portrait. And he does have like shadows and stuff like that, and different tones through the skin. But for the most part, his portraits are just really simple, and always with the long neck, small head, and long nose. Here's another view. The tilt to the head is kind of interesting too. Very often he has a tilted head, which gives some emotion, creates some emotion within the portrait. One of the things about both Picasso and Modigliani is I think they both were exposed to African tribal masks. There was in Paris, where they were both living at the time, there was an exhibition of African tribal masks in, I think it was 1907. And they both saw this and were both really, really inspired by it, but in different ways. This one really looks like a Modigliani face, right? And this one sort of looks like the Picasso face, where it's all facing in different directions, right? But with Modigliani, he stayed fairly realistic, which we're going to try that out. But the takeaways for Modigliani, some of the things to keep in mind as you're as you're trying to draw, similar to him, is the small head, the long, thin neck, the long, simple nose, and small eyes, small mouth, sloped shoulder, and a simple body form. So I want us to try, just a sec here. I want us to try sketching. I'm going to show you how we can break that down so it's an easy way to get the effect. Okay, I've got some notes here. Just a sec here. And let me switch cameras. There we go. So I've just taken a piece of paper and divided it up, but you don't need to do that. It's just so you can see my sketches. So Modigliani, if you take a long narrow frame, like this is a little too wide, but find the halfway point. Like I'm going to use orange for this. Find the halfway point, and I'm going to narrow it down a little bit. Okay. Just actually, you know what? I think I need to be even narrower than that. The head is going to be way up here, and it's going to be kind of long and narrow. And this is just the basic way to start sketching this type of way. And then the neck is going to come all the way down here, and the body in through here. Okay. You can put a tilt. Like it's a simple thing just to move the egg shape over for a tilted head. The eyes, if you let me do this again. If you want to find the eyes and the facial structure again, you know, divide it in half and in half again. The nose is going to come way down from that center point all the way down here. Okay, very simple nose. The mouth is going to be very narrow. Okay, little tiny mouth. The eyes are going to be quite small. And then you can do eyebrows. And this is where we start personalizing it. If we're talking self-portrait or a portrait of, if you want to make it look like somebody you know, that's where the hair and accessorizing comes in. So we're going to try accessorizing. Let's see here. I'm going to try and make someone who looks a little bit like Daintree. she's got a ponytail. She's got glasses.
I just don't recognize myself.
Yes. Yeah, it's looking just like you. And I could have done more of a curved neckline. So this is very, very simple. And then to personalize it more, you can add things into the background. So things about the person that you want it to be a portrait of. You can put like pets. Put a dog.
He's knocking at the door.
Yeah. Or you know, let her have a glass of wine.
You know me too well.
Okay, so anyway, so you can create a background, you know, at a window back here maybe. Whatever you like. The whole thing is basically we're doing kind of a cartoon. Okay. But with the Modigliani method, everything is very simple. Okay, so we're starting with simple and slowly working our way to more complex as far as the imagery goes. And like I said, like if you like say, let's do a couple just in here. If you tilt the head in various ways or make it a turned head, you can add some different things to the image. You can change the hair. You can make a man, just a sec here. Oh, you can give them ears too. Should give them ears as well. So I'm gonna give this guy a beard and a mustache. Okay, and a hat. Okay, a striped shirt. You can personalize them quite a bit just by their hair and their accessories, like I said. Give her some pearls. Okay, so fun. You can have a lot of fun with these. Okay, so that's Modigliani. Now let's look at Picasso. Picasso is a lot more. Oh, there you go. Pablo Picasso is a lot more complicated. And there are many ways that you can draw Picasso images, but I'm going to give you a really simple one, you know, just to keep it doable. It's something easy to keep in your mind. But some of the defining features are that half the face is generally seen as a profile and half the face is seen front on. But then the features move around without notice. Like, look at, there's an ear down here in her cheek. And everything is fairly flattened. Like it's all, and that was something really new for the time. It was highly unusual to flatten the frame like that. And that's one of the reasons why Picasso got such a reputation, was because he was doing something that was totally different than anybody else. Here we have again, part of the image looks like a profile, and the other part looks like a front facing. Okay. And he goes in and he distorts in other ways as well. But I think for our purposes, we're just going to pay mostly attention to just that profile and forward facing idea. This one is it's so strange because the eye is in profile, the nose is in profile, but then the nostrils are straight on. The mouth is in profile. This eye is straight on. Okay. Her hand is totally, you know, a mess. This one's interesting too. He's like flattened the whole face, but this half is in profile. This is the other, well, that eye is straight on, that eye is in profile facing the other direction. So we are going to simplify it a little bit, but the takeaways for this, the defining characteristics are that it's flat, that the sides of the face are mismatched. They are never balanced. You know, he worked hard at keeping the sides of the face totally different. And he doesn't necessarily divide it in half. You know, sometimes it's divided in quarters, but he's changed it. and the various parts of the face are drawn from different angles, and that's cubism. That's looking at things from different faces, different facing in different directions. Okay, and the colors are definitely unrealistic. Whereas Modigliani, the colors were still quite realistic, and the people were still quite realistic, even though they were distorted. Okay. So back to our drawing. Oh. Back to our drawing. Here we go. So let's try a Picasso image here. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw a bunch, and then we're going to decide which one we want to paint, and we're going to play with the painting afterwards. Okay. So the first idea with Picasso, and like I said, we're just going to keep it simple. We're not going to get all out, but you can, if you want, you can go crazier than I'm going to here. But we start with the face, sort of like that. And we want to go just a little off center. And we want to create a profile. Oh, I did it wrong. Profile should have gone the other way. Let's do it down here. Okay. So if I'm over here, the profile should go in that direction. Okay. And we want to do an eye in profile. So a little V with a ball and an eyebrow. You can do funny things with the nostrils if you want. And the mouth, to do it in profile, an easy way to do it is actually to draw a little heart. Okay, so that the top of the heart is just past the line. Okay, so we've drawn half of the face. And then for the rest of it, you can move the eye up and down if you want. I could move it down here so it looks even weirder. Okay, and an eyebrow like that. Part of the mouth. And you can do another nostril here if you wanted to. And then some ears. They don't have to be realistic. They don't have to be the same. And again, do a neck and shoulders. And again, the way you're going to personalize it, make it look like somebody, is the hair. Okay, so if I wanted to make this look like my son, I would do, like, he's got very curly hair on top. So that's my son's hair. And you can add marks into it to help it along. Okay, you can again do something interesting with the shirt. You can add what can I give to my son to personalize him a little bit more. Let's see. I don't know. Okay, let's do some flowers around here. And the flowers can be wonky too. Okay. You can do wonky bees. However you like. Okay. Just little extras to personalize it. And again, surprisingly, I'm going to say that Picasso is quite simple as well. Because when you look at the imagery, just a sec here. He doesn't have a ton of patterning. Like this one has more color and patterning than most. Okay, if you look at them, it's all fairly simple colors. Fairly simple stuff. Okay, very flat. Again, not a whole lot of patterning going on. So our next artist, and I'll see if I can say her name properly. She's quite complex. Sandra Zilbersweig. She's actually Canadian. And I would say that she actually has influenced a lot of art that you see nowadays. She is as just a person, she has synesthesia. I don't know if I'm saying the word right. Synesthesia or something like that. It's where you see, taste, smell colors. Okay, so purple has a taste or a smell, or so her take on portraiture and that sort of thing is quite interesting, because and the reason it's so interesting is because of that. She smells color, and she color has a sound as well. The senses are all kind of mismatched and mashed together with synesthesia. I'm still saying it wrong. Anyway, but I really like what she's doing here, because there's lots of patterning, and it's something that will work really well with the type of things we've been doing already in class, where we create those messy backgrounds and putting something like this on top and then painting into it will work really well. Yeah. So and she puts words and stuff in them, and I'm concentrating mostly on her portraits, but she does a lot of other stuff as well. She does a lot of animals and scenes with a lot of people and creatures and stuff in them. So take some time to look at her work if you want, because she's really interesting. But some of the points about her work are the eyebrow and the nose are connected in just about all her work. She's got these big oval-shaped eyes, or almond-shaped eyes with heavy lids. Oftentimes they're heavy lids. She often has these circles on the cheeks. And she also does a lot of patterning, lots of dots and stuff. But notice this nose here, how it joins in with the eyebrow. Okay, that is that's one of the things that's in almost all of her work. Okay, but again, let's look at how we can simplify that so we can draw it easily. Actually, let's look at this. So the defining characteristics of Zilbersweig, I forgot the W in her name there. It's colorful and lots of patterning. Mismatched sides of the face. The face is different, but they're both facing forward. Okay, but she's decorating them differently. The brow and the nose are often attached, and the eyes often have heavy lids. Okay, so let's see what we can do to play around with that idea. Okay, so how we would start with her again is you could fill the whole square with the face, like a lot of her images were like that, but you don't have to. you can do whatever shape you want. Okay. But when you do the eyebrow, from one side or the other, what you want is the eyebrow to come out and then the bottom of the nose. And it's like you make a kind of an L. And this can be curved or straight along the eyebrow. And probably this part could be curved or straight too. You know, you can play with it a bit. And then I'm going to put a circle in here just to frame where the eye is going to go. And this is going to give me a place to put my other eyebrow. And then the eyes are great big almond-shaped eyes with lids. And she goes crazy with all the colors and stuff, so we'll leave those a little bit. I'm gonna bring a line down here and through down to the chin. Give her the circles on the cheeks. And the mouth is more interesting. Just a sec here. You can do whatever you want with the mouth. I'm going to give my mouth actually teeth. And then same sort of thing, neck and shoulders. Let's give some ears. Now, however you want to do your ears. With her work, like I said, a lot of the defining parts of it there's some separation, a lot of separation within the face, and this helps her in the painting of it. Okay, so we can add a hat, or we can add, you know, whatever we want going on top of their head, hair, whatever we want, and again add, you know, decoration through it if we like. We can have interesting little shapes with patterning. The one thing about Sandra Silverswig's work is that it's patterns, lots and lots of patterns. So if you're choosing to do something similar to her, you might want to add some extra patterns and stuff. And different patterns, like don't necessarily repeat the same thing twice. I'm just playing around here, just doing whatever I feel like doing. You could give big eyelashes if you want. That's another thing that she often does, is eyelashes. I'm doing them different on both eyes. Okay. And when it comes down to painting, we'll work on that a little bit too. I'm gonna do another fish here, just because I can. And I'm going to put some ocean behind her. This person, I think, is going to be swimming. Give her a swimsuit. Yeah. There we go. Like I said, you can do all sorts of things for the background, like whatever you want to make it feel more like a person that you're trying to portray, or whatever, right? The big sun. You know, very quickly you can design a complete picture. Yeah, and they're fun. So what we want to do at this point is pick a sketch, or you can do one freehand when we get onto our canvas and just draw whatever you like. And we're gonna paint one of these, and we're gonna use well, you can do it however you like. You can do a Modigliani if you want, or if the heavy patterning doesn't appeal to you, or we can play around and add as much color and patterning as we want. Okay, so the trick is find the one that appeals to you, and then add a little bit of what you naturally do into it. Add your own concept of who you want it to look like, or who you want to portray. If you want to portray anybody, it can just be an imaginary person. You can be yourself. It can be a friend or one of your kids or something like that. It could be your dog. You can do a dog. Whatever you like. So pick something, and we're going to play around. I'm just going to switch to the other screen, or the other share, for a second. We're going to look at one more thing. Okay, before we start here. Okay, so, oops. Yeah, so play with the ideas and take bits from any of those artists. Take what you like. Okay, throw out the things you don't like. Like, one of the things that I don't like about Picasso is that the images are quite grotesque often, which is not appealing. I don't want grotesque. I just want fun. Okay, and personalize it. Add the things that are special to you, that have some kind of meaning to you. Add plants, objects, other people. You can do a crowd of people if you want. Okay. You could do a family portrait if you wanted to. This would be a great fun way to do a family portrait. Yeah. And like I said, when you're adding things, it can be anything. Like, take a look at these. We have a heart on the chest. We have a cigarette and a bustier, a dog collar and a hat. This person has a guitar. This one has the fish. And this one's holding stars and flowers and all kinds of things. I don't know what this one has. I can't, it's too small for me to see it. This one has birds, and tilt the heads however you like. Add personality in whatever manner you would like. Okay. So, and then, yeah. So I'm going to grab my actually, I think my canvas is under here. Yeah, so I'm starting on on just a red surface, but what I'm going to do is what we have been doing in a lot of the classes, and I'm going to start just by scribbling on here and then painting in some other colors, so we get some messy background happening. And then I'm going to paint in black for the outline of the person that I'm going to portray, and then paint into it. Okay, so you guys can paint along too, please. I really want to see what you come up with for this one. Okay. So I'm gonna just switch to the other.
It looks like so much fun. So
it does. It does. And it should just be play, right? It needs to be play. So I'm going to start by just scribbling in with a couple of colors. Crayon and watercolor pencil crayon. This is always just to break up the surface, so I have something to react to. Okay. It's a way of possibly dividing things, so that when you start laying paint, you're not just laying it all the way across the canvas. It's just a way to react. Okay, so I'm going to just do that much. I'm going to grab a couple of colors, nothing too fancy. Let's see. A little different than what's on there already. You want some green, maybe? And I got some blue gray. And I'm maybe gonna do some orange and magenta, maybe. But you pick whatever colors appeal to you, because this one is all about doing what you like. Oh, maybe I'll do turquoise, because I like turquoise. My favorite. Okay, so get a big brush too. Start with a big brush. So, and like I said, what I've done on here is strictly to react. So now when I'm starting to paint, what I want to be doing is paying attention to that one rule, right? I'm making different size shapes, I'm making an interesting surface. So what I want is to do things that are different. Different shapes, different sizes. Okay, and this is just going to be background stuff. Okay, it's just something to get us started. And I don't have to cover up the whole thing. This is just want something to get me started. Now, what I want is I want all these things to be a little bit different than each other. Overlap or whatever. I'm just playing. This is magenta. Okay. Put a little bit of green in here. Like that. And then I've got some blue-gray, which I can play with. Together with that magenta, can make some purples. That's fun. Trying to make things different sizes, different shapes, so that it's just interesting. Okay, so to me that's enough for now. I'm gonna dry it real quick. Maybe mute myself. Hold on. Nothing like watching paint dry. So my idea for my own piece is that I'm going to try and mix Modigliani with maybe I'm going to try and mix them all up. Oh. Get a real mishmash. So you could sketch it out first if you want with like a chalk if you're not sure what you're going to do. I'm probably going to go just straight to black if I could find my black. It's amazing how often that goes missing. Let's see black. I've got some fluid black values. Oh, just try not to get it into everything. And you know, not thinking about it too much. I'm just going to do. I don't know if I'm going to do a self-portrait. I know what I want to do. I want to do a kind of tilted head. Okay. I want to do the long neck, the sloped shoulders. And I want to do my dog. So I'm going to put the dog over my shoulder here. I'm going to keep him fairly flat as well. Let's see. I want to do I'm gonna do the profile thing. Okay. Profile, but also the heavy eyebrow and the connection there. So I'm doing Picasso eye on this side. This person's gonna look really messed up. They don't know their genre. Okay. Ears, lots of ears, or at least one ear. I'm gonna put big heavy lidded eye over here to paint some color in there. You know what? I don't like that eye. It does look wonky, but let's do a dividing line there as well. And a little bit of a dividing line there, because I want to be able to add in colors in separate areas. I'm going to do a striped shirt this way. It's going to look like a goaltender or a, yeah, not a coach, a umpire or something like that. Let's see, what kind of hair is this person going to have? A ponytail, I think. Let's see. Some lines going through there to help the hair along. Okay. And see what's happening with the dog. I'm going to put some dividing lines through the dog so that it gets different colors happening. Let's see, color. Oh, and I'm going back to the idea of holding a wine glass. I'm gonna have to lose some of these black lines once I start painting. Okay. Oh, I wrecked my wine glass. Oh. It's gonna have a bottom to it. Okay, so this is my picture so far. And again, I'm gonna go back to things that I like to do, which is scribbling. I'm gonna do some of that in here to help my image feel more like mine. Oops, I just broke my crayon. Okay, so I'm just gonna scribble away. No rhyme or reason to it, just adding some color and some interesting things to react to. I can add, this can be part of my patterning for the image. Need some colors. Okay. And what I'm going to probably have to do later is go back in and put my black back in where I want it to be strong. But right now, I'm not worried about it. I'm just playing around. Oops. Okay, so probably that black's dry. So I'm just gonna, it's not that bad. So I'm gonna just hit it with the dryer for just a sec. Okay, so when you're choosing colors, okay, one of the things that Sandra Silverswig, jeez, I cannot remember her name. Sandra Zilberswig does is in the like in certain sections, if you use analogous color. I don't have a color wheel on me, but analogous color on the color wheel is right beside each other. Okay, so if you do 3 colors, say, think about what's beside yellow. You know, if you're using like a lemon yellow, the colors on either side of it are usually orangey yellow and maybe a yellow green kind of thing on the color wheel. So if you use analogous colors like that, use 3 that are kind of beside each other as you paint sections. Just use 3 colors mixed together in each section and use them, you know, in various places. That will give you some of the, I'm just going to show you one of her pictures again. Just a sec. It will give you some of the interesting colors that she creates like this. Okay, so if you look at these colors in here, like we've got yellow, green, and then she patterns over top of it. But in here we have pink, red, orange. Okay. In here we have like blue and teal and purple. Okay. So when you're painting sections, do the background, those colors, and then think about patterning after. And the patterning can be a different color. Okay. It can be something totally different. Okay. spend all my time switching from screen to screen. Okay, so I'm going to start with some of the colors I already have. I think let's see, I've got like a teal and a green and this blue. Okay, so teal was the center color, green could be on one side of it, and this blue could be on the other side. So what should I do? Her skin tone color or what? Let's see. I might start with a little bit of teal through here, and maybe move up to some gray blue. Some of this green happening all the way up her neck here. You can blend it together or whatever you like. You can take out some of, if you want to take out some of the black, you have to be working with opaque colors. Okay. But blending the colors together is often what's going to make them look pretty. Okay, so a little bit of blending going on here. Oh, let's go all the way to the bottom here. A little bit of green through there. So there's some interesting things going on in this segment, right? It's got some mixture of colors. I could use that same color elsewhere. Probably if I used it on her face, it would probably work quite well because it will bring the idea of the skin tone together. Okay. Do this whole section in this color too. Just that much. Okay, I'm gonna put a little turquoise in there too. And again, I'm taking out some of the black lines. I might have to go back in and make them stronger again, but that's okay. Maybe her ear can be this color too. With the inside of her ear, different color. Okay. And well, I don't want too much that color. Could maybe do part of her hand. I'm going to decide what is hand here. Maybe the fingers. This way I can make that wine glass work a little bit better. I want to add in some of my greens and blues in here. Blue, gray, and green as well. I add too much water to this. There we go. Okay, we're going to add patterning stuff in there later. Now, I've got magenta, so if I didn't put any orange down, but if I get some orange and some red, I'll have another analogous mix. Or maybe, yeah, red. That's I'm putting in a cadmium orange and a cadmium red light. And I'm going to use that with magenta to create some other zones on her face, probably. I want to start fairly light. I'm gonna, in this case, I'm gonna leave some of this blue kind of dots maybe, because that might be a nice echo of the color that's above her eye. I've scribbled in some dots, so I'll just paint around them. That can be part of my pattern. Add some red. Let's go up to there for that part of her face. Let's see. Maybe I'll do part of her neck that color. Dark there. Magenta, more red. Heavy on the orange. Okay. Okay. I might do a little bit of that color in here too. So I'm not happy with that eye. I don't like the way it looks. That whole Picasso side view thing. Oh, going down here. Okay. That's interesting. You know, the impulse is always to make things look the same. Like I'm looking at the dog feet and stuff and thinking, should I make one of those this color too? I'm like, no, they got to match the dog, but no, they don't. No, they don't. So I'm going to make one of his paws in this tone as well. A little bit of red, a little bit of orange, a little bit of magenta. And just a bit of his paw, and maybe his collar as well. Let's do its ear in orange. Let's see. Okay. Now the hair, I'm thinking I want some green. I'm going to use like moss green. And I'm going to use some raw sienna. And maybe some bright yellow, just to make it super colorful. Got some bright kind of lemon yellow. Try not to get it in the black. There we go. There we go. Okay, so if your colors aren't opaque enough, remember to make them more opaque, you can always add white, right? So let's see what we can do with the hair. Let's go around here. I don't want, on one hand, I'm leaning toward doing patterns, but on the other hand, I don't want a regular pattern. Okay. Some patterning is okay, but not regular. Just using that green. And do the nose and oops, eyebrow. That's attached. Oh, that's not bright enough. That definitely needs to be outlined again. Okay. Let's see what we can do with this. More raw sienna. And then the bright yellow. Oops. I think I have to add some white to this because it's not very opaque. Okay, let's see. Oh, look. There we go. That's interesting. Yeah, very interesting. I like that there as well. And I think I want this yellow for her eyebrow and the nose area. Oops. That's more interesting. Might do some of my dog in that color as well. And maybe I'm going to do the analogous color thing for his head. As you're painting, if you did a messy kind of background, remember to leave little bits of that shine through. This is fun. Anything goes, man. How are you guys doing? Feel free to leave your mics open so you can chat as well. There's only the three of us, so that can be fun. I'm gonna make her wine glass yellow, I think. Okay. And the top of it. Oh. And bottom, same kind of. It is a very strong compulsion to make things match. Okay. Let's see. Maybe I'm gonna make that the body of the dog. Maybe I'll make that orange and use some of these stripes I've got going in there. There's a little bit of magenta in the bottom just to add some interest. And I could, because I'm using orange, I could use some of the raw sienna with this as well. Which will make it more interesting. Okay, and I do orange inside his ear. Okay, on his tail needs something. Oh, the yellow. Ah, the black was wet. So good. Oh, I'm gonna add some of that green too. Okay, so this is coming along. What can we do with this shirt? I want some purple for the shirt. Not too dark though. Here. This is deep violet, so I'm going to use that for the shirt. And maybe a little magenta mixed in there because that's an analogous color with deep violet. Oh, and I think I'm going to use some cool blue in here too. Let's see. Yeah, that blue is nice against the orange. The dog. And again, I don't want it to be too patterny. I have some different things happening in there. I'm going to use that violet for the wine in the cup. Some purple line. And I'm going to use the blue-gray for some of my stripes here. All of them, though. I think I want some turquoise. This one is good, but I want to do 2 more lines here. And I think I want to add some blue-gray to that to mellow it out a little. That's looking okay. What else? What else? What else? Oh, the eyes. The eyes and the rest of the face. Let's see. In the mouth. I think I'm going to use some of my blue tones in this area here. Here. And then color for the lips. I love the violet, the top lip. This violet. Oops. And I can use blue-gray for the face one. And magenta for the bottom. No, I'll use cadmium light. And the top of the eyes. It's looking pretty strange. That's okay.
Looks fabulous. I love it.
Well, she's looking strange. Definitely. But strange is okay in this case. What color do I want?
Definitely using my white, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
To be opaque, a little bit more opaque.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so that one, the side view eye is bugging me. I'm wishing I didn't do that. But the fact that she looks cross-eyed. Oh, I think that line's too dark now. Too wide. So once you kind of block out the color, then you can start playing with patterns and stuff. What else? Oh, the eyeballs still need doing. I think I'm gonna use this light purple for the eyes, and then I'm gonna use it as some of the patterning as well. So if I can get some out of the tube. Looking fun, that's for sure. How are you guys doing? Is it coming along?
Really different way of thinking, for sure.
Yeah. Well, it's fun when there's no rules. Like you just do whatever feels good. Okay. I think, as far as that goes, this is a good exercise in following what feels good.
I think so too.
Yeah. Because I think that's how you should always paint, with whatever goal you have in mind, of course. But when you paint with just your preferences mostly in mind, you come up with really personal stuff. Okay, it comes across as a lot more personal than otherwise. And then give your fingernails one big thick finger there.
And you're fast. You're fast.
I gotta do something with the background now too, though. I think I should do the background and then I'll start strengthening some of the lines. This line here. And those dog eyes aren't round anymore. Okay. Okay, so what should I do with the background? It's kind of fun. I think I'm gonna get me some Naples yellow if I can find it. I'm gonna use some of that pale purple that I just pulled out to do some patterning or something. I think that dog needs more happening in his body. Actually, I can use my crayons too for that. If I wanted to create some more patterning around here, I can use my crayons. You can't, it's fairly subtle. Okay. And I can put some of that in here. I think I'm going to let some of the rest of it dry. Now for the background, I am going to try and make it interesting and not quite as busy. I'm thinking in terms of using more neutral colors for the background, but that will depend a little bit. And I want to be able to take out lines that are too heavy, so I'm gonna narrow down some of my black lines while I do this. And I'm just kind of using my scribble marks as, like I said, things to react to, so that I start creating shapes. I'm going to use some of this blue gray that I've got as a way to tone down a little bit of the busyness, because that's the one thing about this is much busier than I normally paint. So we'll see how I'm gonna like this. Okay, I'm gonna try coming all the way up to here with them. Take out a little bit of that heavy chin dark line. And a little bit of gray through here. I want something happening for this collar. Pretty triangles on. That's fun. Oops. Just playing with it now. I think this whole thing is all about just playing. It's cute. What other colors do I want? I think I do want to tone down the, well, maybe I'll use some pink in the background. Thinking colors that are not in the person, and the dog will help them stand out from the background a lot more. Okay. see. I think it's nice. Pink looks so awesome next to orange.
I agree.
Let's do that. Get a stripe of magenta there. Stripe of green. Ooh, let's go with purple. Ooh, too much. This thing is going to be incredibly busy. But again, as you're doing the background, think in terms of shapes that are different. Okay, because I'm looking here and I've got a couple of shapes that are quite similar in size, and I think I want to change that to make it more interesting. So make that one big. Now I've got a triangle, big square, and a line. Okay, instead of three sizes that were almost the same. I want to do some purple around here. Yeah, maybe even pink. Right. Pink down here. Warm next to cool makes the cool look cooler. Again, I want to think about my shapes, big shapes, little shapes. Here's magenta. Smaller, this one bigger. I think the background needs some work. I like the person, but I think the background could actually be quieter. Yeah, it could be darker or lighter. That I think is the problem I'm having with it. Because right now the background and the figure are at the same value. Like all those bright tones are mostly the same value. There's some difference, like red is a fairly dark value and purple is a fairly dark value, but like this kind of stuff next to all this, it's all the same value. So the character isn't standing out enough. Okay, they're kind of blending in with the background. So to fix that, I think I need a dark color. And I think, let's see, what do I want? Do I want like a bright purple or not a bright purple, a dark purple, or maybe a dark blue? Maybe some of both. Yeah, maybe some of both. So I'm going to take some dioxazine purple and use some of that in my background. I start at the top where I haven't painted yet, and then if I need to work it down around the characters, I will. So some cobalt blue and some dioxazine. Too much water on my brush. Yeah, that dark up against the bright of her hair is awesome. And how far do I go with it? Maybe bigger shapes are better in the background too. Okay, so a little bit of cobalt blue here. Cobalt blue is fairly opaque, so it'll cover up reasonably well. I think I need to put some black dividing marks in the background as well to make it work better. So we continue the same treatment through the whole piece. see here. Gonna mix some colors up. I might have to. She stands out better against the dark, that's for sure. But I'm not sure I like so darkly purple. If that makes sense.
Mm.
The colors underneath are adding some division, which is good. Okay. I think that's a little bit better, but I still feel like the background's not working that well. And I think the reason is mostly because there's no black lines. So maybe I'm gonna go in and do some updating of my black lines and add some into the background. So just gonna strengthen lines where I think it needs it. I'm using a real fluid black in this case. And what it means is it's going on really nice and smooth. Just outlining everything where the lines aren't strong enough. I'm liking the way this looks where I painted around the scribbles, and maybe I need more of that in the background. Maybe we need to start adding the patterning. I think that might be part of the issue. My line looks too gray, so I'm gonna add some magenta to it. Want my line to look red. Okay. These fingers need to go in. Let's continue to outline everything. Yeah, the whole thing is just, when you get to this point, it's just, just play. I'm gonna put some dots on this paw. I'm gonna put some orange dots on her neck right here to help bring the skin tone together a little bit, even though it's different. My dots are square because I'm using a square brush. Okay, that's not bad. Eyelashes. Eyelashes. Darker and then let's see. She looks totally cross-eyed. I'm gonna put some blue dots in here, blue gray. And I'll put some lines on this guy's tail in blue gray. Couple of blue gray dots on this arm, and then I'm going to switch to orange. That's another point. On the fingers, maybe. Okay. Well, I think my wine glass needs to be a little lighter colored. This makes more sense. But of course, as soon as I start going to realistic color, the rest of it doesn't work as well. Go with red for the line. And there. Sugar. And some black lines, like I said, black lines in the background as dividing marks. I think I want this to divide more through there. I don't want those lines to match up so much. This is kind of cool here. Actually, as soon as I start dividing it up like this, I have some design happening in the background, which is not a bad thing. Let's see. It helps picture what should be happening in there. Some black outline. Okay. Looks like stained glass or something behind her, but really shouldn't. Another mark. Coming there. Okay, so back to doing some interesting things in the background. I'm just going to scribble in a few areas and then go paint back into it. Colors. Red, green, oh. Okay. It's got green crayon. You know, and use whatever kind of patterning you want. Like use stencils if you want to. Okay. Last thing. Okay, so as I'm going to paint back into these, I'm going to try and make the colors deeper and more interesting. Okay. Sorry about that. Let's see here. We've got more stripes on the tail. Okay. Actually, I think just the background and we'll be kind of happy with this. Maybe use my brush. I'm gonna do a little bit more orange and magenta through here because I did some pink stripes, which I like. In the neck. That show up a little bit more. I'm going to mix a little bit of the light purple in with the violet to make it more opaque. And then go back in over top of this. Just having the two colors together is going to make this area a little bit more interesting too. Dots or those circles. A little bit more interesting as well. I could have made my my wine glass see-through, but because I am trying to paint two-dimensionally so that everything is flattened, I don't want to do things that are a three-dimensional way of looking at it, which I think seeing through the glass would feel three-dimensional.
Besides which, it's full of wine.
What's that?
Besides which, it's filled to the brim with wine, so you can't see through it.
Yeah, that must be it. Okay, I'm gonna. What I'm doing pretty much is I'm just lightening up my dark colors a little bit to paint around things and create more depth and interest in the background. I've just mixed a little bit of the blue-gray with the cobalt blue to make it a little lighter. Yeah, I think this makes the background a little more interesting. Separating it and then patterning it. Oh, that has a lot of purple. Okay. I do super dark purple around these so that they have light purple inside. That might work. Yeah. In a lot of cases, I think the patterning works when, or the different colors work when there's that feeling that the colors are close, that analogous color thing, or, you know, value difference. Busy, very, very busy. Ugh, that looks weird. You gotta fix your chin. And that was blue-gray. And maybe some of the orange. Sorry. Bright orange. Which is okay. And I could put some blue dots in there too. turquoise dots. They're freckles. The raw sienna wasn't terribly opaque, so I'll just go over it again. Now that it's dry. That's looking good. Excuse me. I think I need to go back in with purple, the light purple here, up to this line. Yeah, there's little bits of value difference when you paint over top of a color, can often make it look really pretty. Go just a little bit lighter, a little bit darker. Okay. It's not covered very well. It looks more interesting on my live on my canvas rather than on the video, where I've painted between the yellow lines. Okay. Oh, okay. And my pink, I'm going to lighten up that pink a little bit, add some white, and go around these little, oops, not that, around. Okay, around my little circles that I made. Side back area. Okay. Oops. Let's see how that looks. Oh, we're back to light colors again, which isn't what I wanted to do. But it's light enough that it's still a different value tone to the dog. Yeah, that's not too bad. I do think I want to go a little bit darker again. Add some magenta. Here. Here. You could go for a long time with this. You could play for hours and hours, especially if you stop to think about it so you don't make mistakes the way I'm doing. Okay. Not all that keen on that really, really dark area, or maybe this whole area needs to be darker. About that I don't like. I think that these need to be circles. I don't like the shape of those. I like circles better, and I'm going to join it with this area. So the whole part, whole area is dark. I might bring it down a little bit to here. Just because my shapes feel like they're too much the same. same size in the background. So I probably won't quite finish this, but I'm close. I'm close. I want to see what you guys have done too. So I'm going to finish up here in just a sec, so we can all see what everybody got up to. Because I'm sure they're all going to look very, very different. Oops. It's not dark enough there. Okay. And I think I need to do another layer of color over top of that. I think this area needs to be a little darker. I'm gonna do, oh, a bit of magenta right there, and then I'll put the day. Oh, maybe over. Yeah, the background just needs some playing around with it. I think it definitely looks a little bit better, and the value difference is stronger. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna call it quits right now, so we have some time to chat and look at everybody's work. But that is fun. That is a lot of fun. But like I said, stopping to think about it a little bit would probably help. It wouldn't be so mishmashy. So what did you guys do? Let's see what you came up with. Oh, just a sec, Barb. Oh, that's awesome. I love it. That is so cool. Yeah, the one thing, I think you're muted still, Barb, if you want to unmute yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, so really there are no rules. I love the big hair, and I love the concept where she's reading and stuff. The one thing I would suggest is defining her nose and mouth a little more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But besides that, I think she looks awesome. I really like that. I really like that.
That was fun anyway.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? It's fun just playing.
Yeah.
Okay, so Daintree, do you want to oh, Paula's ready. Hold on a sec here. Paula's ready.
Oh, Daintree's ready. That's good.
Oh, are you?
Whoever.
Oh, you did Modigliani. Yes,
Oh, I
that's
did.
wonderful. Yeah.
I had a Picasso like face for another class that I was doing, so I thought, well, you can only have so much Picasso in your house.
Yes. Yeah. So Modigliani is great. I love the cat. Yeah, good pose too. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, love it. Love it. How did you do, Daintree?
Well, it's only half of a sheet, but
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, very, very Sandra Silberswig. Yeah, that's awesome. Were you having fun with that?
oh yeah. And you can tell it's just like, oh, the patterning is not even begun.
Yeah, you can go for hours on this.
So much fun. So
Yeah.
much fun.
Kind of why I
So-
went with Modigliani, because I didn't have to spend another 12 hours on it.
Yeah, it's faster. It's much more simple. For sure. For sure. So did you guys like that? Was that fun?
Loved it.
That was
Yeah,
fun.
loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
And I can see we're doing animals in this any of those styles would be
Styles, yeah.
so much fun.
Yeah, for
A
sure,
cat
for
curled
sure.
up, or
Yeah,
so much
yeah.
fun.
Well, and this kind of thing, you know, it may not be the type of style that you want to do all the time,
No.
but if you're stuck and you're looking for something to change it up a little bit, if you do sketches like this, like just little paintings, you know, and the thing is they're very appealing, you know, they're very appealing. So you can give them to people. Do like a portrait of a friend for a birthday or something like that. You know, those kind of things, you know, they're fun.
Mhm.
Mhm. Or
sure.
if somebody's bugging you to do a portrait of their kids, do it like this.
Were you drinking wine last night? Yeah.
So getting rid of those requests to do portraits of people.
Oh my God, that is so cool. I love
I
it.
get,
I
yeah,
love it.
yeah. They're great fun. They're great fun.
Yeah.
I'll probably play around with this a little bit. And it's the kind of thing where it's fun enough to like hang on your own wall, you know.
Yeah.
It's different. It's different, you know.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
if
yeah.
if you really enjoy it, you know, spend some time doing a few little ones, like do some 8x10s or something like that. And,
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly.
yeah,
So much fun. It's good to
yeah,
loosen up too. You know, it's like,
it is.
trying
It
different
is.
colors and
Yeah, for
stuff
sure.
like that. So
For sure.
right on.
Hmm. Yeah. So, and the thing is too, like there's so many other people who do interesting ways of doing portraits, and you know, take a look around. Um, look on Pinterest is a great place to look because Pinterest will always give you more of what you're asking for. They'll suggest things for you all the time. So every time you pop up a picture, there will be a whole lot of stuff related to it. So you'll be able to find like all sorts of this sort of thing, you know, and you know, make it yours, you know, make it make the patterning that you like, make it you know, make the size of it, make the just the colors. You can, it doesn't have to be so psychedelic. It can be, you know, shades of blue or shades of red, or you know, something a little more simplified.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I think it's just a fun exercise to play around with.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
patterning.
So any questions about any of it or comments?
No, this was a lot of, like you say, a lot of fun and but interesting as well. Like that.
Yeah.
Talking
Well,
about different colors.
and sort of the because we've been doing this abstract kind of series, I thought it would be fun just to because this is the last one in the abstract series. So I thought it'd be fun just to really go all the way out and do something totally abstract.
Yeah, perfect.
Have you tried this particular type of painting before?
Well, I did the image that I used for my for the ad was something I did that was kind of supposed to be Picasso-esque. I hadn't really researched how he did it so much, so I didn't really, I was just kind of messing around. But I actually I did that as part of a group. I'm looking over there because the picture's on the wall over there. I did it as an exercise in a group I belonged to where we all were supposed to do self-portraits, and I didn't, something that explained something about us. So yeah, and I didn't know what I was going to use. So that's I ended up just really doing a simple thing, and it's all about there's kind of ghostly figures behind it. Just a sec here, I'm going to see if I can find it on the internet. There's ghostly figures behind the main image. And what those are, it's supposed to be about the artist that came before, about us following following the lead of artists that come before us. I'm just gonna put it up here. Just a second, so you can see it again. Gotta move my screen share a little bit. Oops. Okay, here we go.
Oh, like that.
Yeah. So
Oh.
the idea of that, yeah. So the idea was, you know, I've got all these brushes because I'm saying that I'm an artist, and these
Yeah.
people back here are basically my artistic ancestors.
That's really
So
good.
yeah, well, and that sort of idea where you, if you did this sort of painting and actually took it to the place where it is a self-portrait, okay, where you and try and put something of yourself, you know, something about yourself in it,
Yeah.
like that, I think is a really good exercise. Like it makes you think a lot.
Mhm.
And it can be a lot of fun too, but to take these ideas on on portraits and do a self-portrait like that, I think is a great idea. It's a great exercise. And it's fun to have a self-portrait around too, especially when it doesn't look like you too much. Yeah, so I'm always a lot more self-conscious about photos of me than I am of that picture. I figure that picture's close enough. It's got like the little scoopy hair and and enough information about me. Yeah, but yeah. So is this something, do you think you will do this kind of thing again, or is it just
Yeah.
kind of fun as a one-off?
Yep. Oh, I'm not sure if I'm on.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
Your
yeah,
mic's
yeah.
open. Yeah.
I'd like to do some, you know, 8x8s of my family in different styles.
Wouldn't that be
Oh,
fun? Yeah.
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 Just for, you know, I like to change. I like color on my walls, and that'll add some punch for sure.
And they will probably get a big laugh out of it too. Which is fun, you know, and giving them as like you know, when you're trying to think of something personal to give as a gift,
yeah,
it's like doing a portrait like this, because you know, people can't be insulted by it because it's so obviously not a true representation of them. It's just a fun representation of them, so you know, they can't be insulted.
Sorry about that, guys.
You so Paula, are you going to try the patterning and stuff, or do you like the simplified better?
I tend to, most of my stuff is very simple.
Yeah.
Like I said, I did a little foray into for an exercise for another class. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not.
Oh, fun.
So that was kind of, that was an exercise that we had to do.
Yeah.
A poster.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I keep threatening to do things like that, but I have a tendency to go back to landscapes.
Yes.
And I'm finishing up an abstract course now, and I am in desperate need of some representational art. So it may be a while before I attempt it.
Yeah, it does. You know, you do swing between the two, right? Like, and sometimes you just need to make something that actually looks like something.
I want it to really look like a tree.
Yes. Yeah. So where are you taking the courses?
This particular one is with the ACAD continuing education. It's just an abstract class.
Yeah. Who's the instructor?
Malcolm Mooney.
Yeah, I don't know him. No.
Yeah, unfortunately, he was saying that the continuing ed program is going on hiatus for a couple of years. I don't know whether they're revamping it or what. But
that's sad to hear.
Yeah.
That is sad to hear. Yeah, because I've taken a couple of courses too through continuing ed. Yeah. That's too bad. Who did you do the poster with? Was that with him?
That was with him.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I'm a very practical person. You know, some of the people in the class, they were doing all of these sort of very abstract thinking things that they were then putting into an abstract poster. And I'm going, I'm just not an abstract thinker. I have to advertise reading, and that's what this is. You know, I have a torn up book that's the clouds and the raindrops going into the brain, and that's very practical.
But it's good. Like that was a good poster. You could tell what it was about, which I think is
I have
important.
to say, some of my classmates, I looked at this and went, no idea what your message is.
Yeah, and that kind of is a bit of a fail. Because the idea of a poster is to actually have a message. So
That's true. That's very true.
Yeah. Do you think you're going to do this again, Barb?
I think it'd be something I would just do occasionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't paint. I personally don't paint a lot of people and stuff. So
Right.
Yeah. I just had a vision of like Modigliani animals with long skinny necks, and that might be fun. Yeah, tiny little heads. Actually, my sculpture is more Modigliani in that my sculpture has tiny little heads and big hands and very kind of plain bodies.
Right. Yeah. There's a
Yeah.
good show on TV. I don't know if you've ever seen it, Portrait Artist of the Year.
What's where do they run that? Because it's on a specialty channel, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in the UK. The channel is Makeful. And
Oh, yeah. Okay.
a lot of people can't seem to get it. But they do Landscape Artist of the Year and Portrait Artist of the Year. And it's really fun to watch. Like, they have about 6 contestants, and then they have a field of like 50 wild cards, they call them. People can just drop in and paint.
Oh, cool.
Well,
that does sound neat.
It's really good.
Yeah, that sounds neat. I think I saw one of the Portrait Artists of the Year episodes, but I haven't been able to find it again. So
Yeah.
Well, but anyway, I think our time is just about up here. Any more thoughts or comments on what we did today, or what's coming up, or anything like that?
I wish I was going to Invermere.
Yeah. Yeah, you saw that, huh? Yeah, I'm really looking forward to camping, because we bought a tent trailer last year, and we've only taken it out once. So this is only our second time for the year. So I'm looking forward to going.
That sounds great. Sounds great. It's going to be great weather.
Going for?
I'm also doing a demo at a Fusion Gallery in Invermere on Saturday. So I was planning on using that excuse if the travel restrictions hadn't gone up, hadn't come down, you know. So it was an excuse to go camping.
Perfect.
Yeah. But the Layton Center is having their clothesline sale this weekend as well. They had rescheduled it because their first date was restrictions were still really tight, and now they're allowed to have it. I don't know how many people they're allowed, but they haven't had the crowds that they've had in the past anyway. Like last year they did it, but there weren't nearly the crowds. So I think it's perfectly safe to go.
And it's all outside, isn't it?
It is. Most of it's outside. You can go inside too, but most of it's outside. And I'm sure they'll have restrictions on how many people in the building and that sort of thing.
It's such a great view. I just go for the view.
It is. Yeah. I went down there to drop off my work, and I
agree. That's when you take that full glass of wine in that painting.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm also, if you're down in Waterton, I forgot to put this on my my list of things that are happening. I'm at Gust Gallery now.
Yeah.
I just started this year. So
Yeah, I think
if
you
you're in-
mentioned it. You mentioned
yeah,
it
in a
earlier.
previous
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the previous thing. Yeah. But they just, like, all of that just opened up, like Waterton just opened. I think they've been open for a month or something like that, and some of the back roads and areas you could drive have been closed, but I think it's all opening up now.
Oh, good.
Yeah, which is nice.
Oh,
That's another place I want to go camping this year. Camping on my brain.
not far behind. Not far behind you.
Mhm. Do you go camping a lot, Daintree?
No, I used to, but no, actually I splurged and got my daughters and I a spa 2 nights at Island Lake Lodge. So
nice.
yeah, I'll
Nice.
do a couple of short hikes and just, chillax. And then no, camping night, it's too hard on my back, just too hard on
Yeah.
my back. So,
Yeah.
but I'm really interested in that glamping that's out there.
Yes, that looks good. That looks good. And I have to tell you that, like, we've been tent campers up until this year. So
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we used to go camping quite a bit. Yeah, so I hear you about the back thing. But just getting off the ground, it made all the difference. It's so much more comfortable. And we just got like an old trailer, like it's nothing fancy, the mattresses are only this thick and stuff like that, but it makes all the difference just getting off the ground.
Yeah. But there's nothing like, waking up and it's cold out and you're shivering in that coffee. How fast can you get the coffee made over the fire?
Yeah. And start a fire, sit around the fire early in the morning. I love that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, we're camping right around Fairmont, so we'll also the hot springs, as far as I know, they aren't open to the public, but they're open to the people who are staying at a place connected with Fairmont. So we should be able to go to the hot springs too, which is nice. And not that we'll probably want to this weekend, because it's supposed to be like 30 degrees and stuff. So we'll see.
Whatever breeze there is when you get out of the hot springs will feel good.
Yes. Well, hopefully they have a cold pool or something too. So jump in the cold pool. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, have a good trip. Have a good trip.
Thanks, Ethan. Thanks.
Enjoy.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thanks for coming to the class. And I did send out one class just because I don't have time to sit down and figure out what to do for the following one at the moment, because I have artwork I have to finish to take to Invermere as well. So I'm working hard on that kind of stuff too. So I will have more classes posted probably next week, early next week. Okay.
Right on.
Okay.
Thanks
you
so
guys
much.
have a great
Enjoy.
weekend,
Thank you,
guys.
everybody.
We'll see you next time. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.